now know what is data, what is database, let's try to understand another term that is known as database management system and why it is important for our analysis. So, when I talk upon another term in the study of SQL, that is nothing but database management system, also known as DBMS. Now the full form for DBMS is nothing but database management system. Now let's try to understand each word over here, that what is a database, what is database management system over here. As we know now what is database, database is nothing but collection of data. So collection of data, that's nothing but a database. Now what do you mean or what do you understand by something called as management? Now what is management over here and why database needs to be managed? Imagine that lots of data are being stored in the form of database. I want to read the data, I want to update few of the data, I want to delete certain rows, I want to create a new data over there. So I have a database which I have to manage. Manage in the sense I have to make changes with respect to storing new element, retrieving the data, updating it, deleting it, or I can say manipulating it. So when I talk upon management in terms of the database, it's known as managing the data, and with respect to managing, there come options or there come operations such as, let's say, it could be storing new data, creating a new data in the existing database, or retrieving the data, that is fetching the data which is required, or manipulating the data. Now manipulation means making changes in the data. Now what kind of changes are required? Let's say updating, deleting and so on, and those changes are required into my database. So when it comes to management, that is managing of data, and that would be managed by storing, retrieving, manipulating and all. So in short, I can say when I want to make changes into the data or update the data or retrieve the data, or if I want to access the data in a better way, I will be going with something called as management. Now I have a database. I know that I have to manage it. But how will I manage it unless and until I have a software or I have a system? So when I talk upon something called as system in the DBMS, system is nothing but a platform, or I can call it as a software, which is available to me, which is given to me so that I can make those changes which are there into the databases. So over here we have understood each word in the form of DBMS and what is the meaning of each word. Now let's write a formal definition of what is a DBMS. So when I talk upon something called as DBMS, so DBMS is a software, or I can call it as database management system. So database management system is a software. So it's a software or a platform which helps. So it's a platform which helps to manage, which helps in management of data. So it helps to manage the data base. So it helps me to manage the database which is there by storing, updating, retrieving, just a second, second. So storing, updating, or I can say retrieving, or manipulating. So it will manipulate. So it will be manipulating the data in the database. So if I want to formally or technically give a definition of what is a DBMS, so DBMS is nothing but a software or a platform which will help me to manage the database by storing it, by updating it, by creating something, by manipulating it. What manipulations is there? The data which is stored within the databases. So this is a formal definition of what is a DBMS. Now there are certain examples of DBMS such as MySQL. So there are various examples of DBMS such as MySQL, Oracle, etc. So these are nothing but platforms which will help me to access the data which I have. Now, what are certain features which makes DBMS a reliable part in terms of handling data? So let's talk upon features of DBMS. So the very first feature is it gives user interface to access the data which is stored within the database. So it provides what? User interface. So it provides a user interface in terms of accessing the data, in terms of retrieving the data which is there. It can take SQL queries as commands and give us the desired outcome. So commands or instructions by the users, commands or instructions by the users could be considered over here in terms of accessing the data. Now third thing is it's user friendly. Now what is the meaning of user friendly? A user can easily use it. A user can easily use a DBMS which is there in order to access the database. Now fourth is it will give me the chance of creating a data of my choice with my restrictions. So it gives users the privilege to create data of and to create database or data of the need. So whatever is the need of the data is there, it will give me the privilege in order to store it as such. So these are certain features which will help DBMS to be used as a tool in the market. Now I have a data, I have a database management system. I have a data, I have a database, and I have a database management system. So what is this together known as? Let's say if you want to efficiently store your data, and let's say you have a database where the data is stored, the data is collectively stored, and you have a platform that is a DBMS in order to help you interact with the data. So these two things together are known as something called as database system. Now what is the meaning of a database system? Now database system is something where the database will be given and there will be one platform provided to you in order to access, in order to maintain, or in order to take this database into consideration, so that whatever changes, whatever retrieval, whatever manipulation is required, you can do it over here. So that's what is all about a DBMS.